everyone, welcome back. So I want to show you how to create another type of recipe, which is like me, a runner search. And, there are different types of recipes that have to do with search, because if you think about all of the distances of search, that includes stuff like lists, results, type ahead, and that's where I'm going to start right now. So you can actually go ahead and make components for text. I'm not a big fan of doing that. It gets a little hard to manage, but I'll show you what you can do here and how you can implement components. Totally up to you. And it really depends on your application. So I'm going to grab that iPhone. Again, I'm going to actually apply a grid. Just something simple. Just and set my frame around it. And I know that this is going to be like the width of these grids over here. And I'm just going to name that list. Now, we need to actually create a list item. So let me just show this with a stroke. So we know that that's our frame for now. So let's move this out of the way. Our list item, we're using the type ahead. This is going to probably be like rules. So I'm going to actually create a line. So let's create a rule. And that rule is probably going to have like a UI color. Oh, that's a little too dark. Maybe like 20. Really subtle. Maybe 40 is fine. Okay, so we have that. And now we need some text. So let's think about which text we are going to use. So say I start typing something. Text type refill list. So there is my text. It's not going to be 20 pixels, so I'm probably going to bring it down to 16. That's good. And some portion of it is going to actually not be pre-filled. So you're gonna have to do this manually for yourself. So we see pre-fill text. That's how it usually is. Okay, so we have our text set. We also have maybe like an icon. So let's grab an icon. So you can very much make a list component. I have it. Okay, what icon are we going to use? We're going to use an outline 24 pixels chevron, right? And very easy, I'm just going to bring that in. Just leave that there for now. And don't think that all the different parts of a pre-fill list, we have our text, if you're looking for something, it will automatically pre-fill with bold, and whatever you've typed in with the XOR here is going to be just regular. What I'm also going to do is I think we may have a caliber indicator. And that we can make much smaller. Yeah, maybe bold is way too much for a heading. Maybe this is where our alternate small body copy comes into play. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to create a frame. And I'm just going to call this text and rename it to text. And we can use auto whale if we want. And here, we are just going to space that out maybe by 4 pixels. And then we have another frame. So info list item. And we can do yes, we can select both and automatically space them out. So there's select. We select both of these. We can make sure they're 8 pixels apart. Let's do that. So we know that these are all 8 pixels apart from each other. Let's go ahead and just rename these. Call them rule, like a horizontal rule. at this point, we can actually start creating our list items. So I'm gonna actually put this into this frame. Then this frame is now gonna be an auto layout frame. And everything within this frame is gonna be spaced by 8 pixels. So if I go ahead and take my list item and duplicate it, text, oops. I could easily put it below, and if I don't want to show this any longer, I can easily do that and have that variation like that. And my list item will, you could just like resize to fit like that. And there you go. You can easily create a variant. So that's how you can create like a different type of recipe over here. So I've created this one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually select this and that, and you see 8 pixels may seem like a little too much. And see, UI 40 gray is a little too dark. That's a little more subtle. I think that's fine for now. If you want to bump that up, like say by 16 pixels. So I've noticed that, that 40 is too dark, and this is what I mean about like your design system starting to evolve. You'll realize that, hey, let me need something in between here. Maybe if I dark this by another 20%, the roll may actually be a little nicer. So fair. See if I go 80% on that. Maybe even 40%, like that roll's a little more bearable. But that is something we just kind of learn with time. So I'm going to actually continue. We can just C, Command V, Command V, and just create like a huge list. And there you have it. That's your type ahead list. So we can go ahead and put that into our little section here. Let's put it into the recipe. Perfect. So that's one other type of list that we can create. Obviously, you can turn these into components. Totally up to you. If you feel like you're not using it enough, then you don't need to. Another recipe that I thought about also when it comes to search is like your results. So let's create a search result list. So I'm going to actually go to my cards and I'm going to grab like horizontal. Oh, look, there it is. Search. Okay, so we only really need one, and then we can play with that. So let's go back to our tongue. We can turn on our... So I like to work within like a frame like that. And what we're going to do here is, when I think of search results, I'm going to space these out by 16 pixels. We can even have a horizontal roll if we want. We can also, add variations. Let's call these results. And these are going to be in an auto layout, 60 pixels apart, vertical, perfect. And so like when I delete one, the whole frame changes. Okay, that is good for now. What I'm going to do here is video, look another title. I'm going to maybe 100 results for music. Now what I can do is I can create another auto layout. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to actually just push that over here. Let's bring this down a bit, so 16 pixels. And I'm going to Command C and then Command V. So this is going to probably be in the darker text colors or gray. And this is probably going to be in a 16 pixel regular. So I create a lot more hierarchy here. And we're going to create a frame around this. And we're going to call this text. And within that frame, we're just going to do an auto layout again. And this one can be like a 0 or whatever you see fit. It could be like 4. Thought it took good enough spacing. And then like once you change something like this, it changes everything and same thing for now. So keeping things very kind of like responsive to this mobile screen, we have a text portion. Let's make sure that we're like maybe spaced out by the increment. We have 24. That's perfectly fine for now. And then maybe there is like button here. Actually, maybe load a button. Let's go check our pill buttons here. So we have a pill row. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to actually place that right there, and I'm going to call this filters. So making me handle filters in a button like this. And we're going to remove. And then resize that. And let's take a look at the grid. So when I resize that, we're going to select both. And I'm going to center them. And I'm just going to call this, I'm going to make out the frame, Option Command G. And I'm going to call this, what should we call it? We should probably call it something like results info. Then we can take this and call this search results. And there you got it. You have an easy search result section where we can constantly add new items. And this becomes like easy way to just build up a page. So I'm just actually going to take this. You can make this an auto layout as well. And you can space these two things by 24 pixels. Totally up to you. And you'll see how everything just grows. And that's why I really love the auto layout. So I'm gonna actually take that, Command C, and let's put that into the recipe. And that is how you can make different types of recipes. So this is more in relation to actual searching. But I have like a type ahead list. So when I'm actually taking in to my search input, and then I actually have the results list where I can show you there's how many results there are for the actual search. And if I want to public a filters overlay, I can do that with this button. And I have all the different types of, well, not all the different types, but I have different types of results that I can always pull from if I needed to. So this is how I would approach recipes for something like search that has different types of components and different types of variations.